Hey there. It is January 18th, 17th, 18th. I'm not sure. I am obviously not recording where I normally record. I'm actually down here in the basement and thought I'd do just a little bit of change of scenery for this video. So I don't have a calendar by me to actually know what the date is. But today I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people have done videos online about, and I'm sure there's tens of thousands of videos about this online. And I'm not going to make it long and drawn out and things like that. But I wanted to give you my coming out story as a gay man. Um, right now, I'm 32 years old, and I came out when I was about 14 and a half, between 14 and a half and 15 years old. Um, it is true. A lot of people say, well, I knew from a young age that I was gay. And it's true. I knew from probably about the age of 5 or 6 that something was different. Obviously, at that age, you don't know, what gay means, um, or something, but you know that you're different from a lot of your friends. And um, I just didn't really discover what that was until I got to be about 12, 13, 14 years old. And for the longest time, it scared me to death to tell my parents that I was gay. Um, it scared me more to tell my dad than my mom. And I think it's because, one, um, for some reason, I think I, not that I don't get along with my parents, I do. I get along with them greatly. Um, I don't know. I feel like I identify with my mom more than I do my dad. And in that, I felt it would have been harder to tell him than it was her, even though I was scared to death to tell her too. So basically, how me telling my parents that I was gay pretty much went like this. I was home alone one evening with my mom. My dad was at work, and I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and I just started to think, I knew by that time, I knew that I was gay. I had accepted it for myself and knew that that was a part of me. And I thought, if you're gonna tell your mom, you guys are here alone, just for lack of a better term, come out and tell her. So, but I didn't just want to come out of the bathroom and blurt out, hey, I'm gay. Um, but I got done brushing my teeth and I came out to the living room and I asked her, I said, how do you tell somebody that you love something but you don't want to make them cry? And my mom's like, well, why? Do you have something you want to tell me? And I said, yes. And of course, I still couldn't just come right out and say the words. Um, and it's funny because she took a couple guesses as to what I thought I was going to tell her. And the first two were completely wrong. And they're just as funny now as it was back then. But she asked me, first one was, well, are you in trouble with the police? And I said, no, I'm not. And she said, um, I don't know if she asked if it had to do with drugs or something with drugs. I don't know. But I said, no, that's not it. And then the third one is when she guessed correctly and she said, are you going to tell me that you're gay? And I said, yes. And she probably had one of the best reactions I personally have ever heard. And after I told her that, she said, so. And of course, as a mother, She said she pretty much always knew that I was gay, and but it was nice. Of course, I cried a little bit. I think it was because of the realization that I finally told her, and it was out in the open. She knew I could finally be my true self, and so I got half of it done. Now I just had to tell my dad, and I had no idea how to tell him, because I had always felt that, well, since I was an only child, or well, I am an only child, that he would take it a little harder, um, just because, I'm his son, and he has, probably envisioned me going on and getting married and having grandchildren or kids so he can have grandchildren or whatever. So, and of course, nobody wants to disappoint their dad. So, my mom had asked me if I wanted her to tell him. And I can't honestly remember what I said. I think I probably would have said yes, I'd rather her tell him than me tell him. But at the same time, I also would know, or I could see her saying, well, I think it would be best coming from you and not me. But anyway, neither of us ended up really telling him because I'm not sure how, but he had ended up finding a letter that I had written a friend telling them that I was gay. And he took it to my mom and asked if it was true, and she told him yes. And that's ultimately how he found out that I was gay. Now, for the first few years that he knew, he, I'll say now, neither of my parents, um, they're okay with gay people. My mom grew up in Florida. She had several gay friends growing up. However, my dad, he's lived in this very small city where I live now. I've lived my entire life. He's lived here his entire life too. And it just wasn't a big thing. Gay people were not, you know, on every street corner, and it wasn't widely talked about. But um, all in all, in the end, as of the last like 5 years or so, um, it's very nice to know that I could go and talk to my parents, especially even my dad, about anything. And I know that I've always been able to go talk to them about anything, but it's still kind of it was still kind of weird to go talk to my dad about, like, if I had broken up with a guy. That was kind of an awkward conversation, but he was okay with it because he's always told me, my mom and my dad, that, no matter what, I'm their son, they'll love me, and I can always come to them with anything. And I know that to be very true. But ever since then, I've gotten my mom to go to the gay bar with me a few times in the past. One time to go see some male strippers. That was actually a lot of fun. I've actually even gotten my dad to go down to the gay bar once. And that was one time more than I thought he'd ever go. So my parents are very accepting of it. I know that they love me no matter what. Um, and I've been together now with my fiance for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in July. And um, they love him. Um, of course, me being their only child, they figure, that, nobody's good enough for their only child. But I think now they know this is who I want to be with the rest of my life. And this is who I'm going to be with the rest of my life. But we've had many good times together. It's been a couple times where we've had a couple spouts, but we've gotten over them. And I think we're on the uphill of everything. But anyway, that is my coming out story and how I told my parents. Telling friends, as far as friends go, everybody was super accepting. I never had anybody, I've never had anybody call me a fag or queer or anything like that. Um, I've been very lucky with the family and the friends that I have told, accepting me for who I am, and I'm very thankful for that. But that is my story, one of the tens of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of coming out stories. But I just wanted to share that with you and how it came about that I told my parents and everything. But that is it for today's video, and I will see you all tomorrow on Thursday. Have a great day.